Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting. Tonight we're doing more Black Hammer. We are into Age of Doom, and I got my usual Black Hammer crew with me. We got John. What is going on, my friend?
JP just went live. Shush! I just got my notification.
Well, there you go. You're gonna like bomb him. You're gonna chat bomb him or whatever. You're gonna troll him in the chat.
I already did. I'm there. I'm the only one.
Yeah. We also have a new guest with us tonight. We got Mr. Daryl. Read your comics. What's going on, my friend?
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could join us. Somebody recommended you join us. I don't.
Definitely wasn't me.
I don't remember. Oh wait, there's somebody backstage. Do you guys know who this just no good comic?
He's no good.
No, never heard of him.
No. Oh, there he is.
Let me in.
What is going on, Justin?
What is up? What is up, man? It is rough backstage, man. Brutal. I don't know who would do such a thing and keep people back there, but I'm doing good, man. Doing good. How you guys doing?
I am doing fantastic. I am looking forward to discussing this story. So, we kind of roped you into our Black Hammer reading group here, a few months late. So how did you get started down the Black Hammer path?
Well, I've seen people post about it on Instagram a lot.
Probably John.
John was doing it about a year ago, I think I used to see. But I'd seen the covers and stuff before, and I always liked that classic vibe of the covers. And so it was one that I always kind of had a little bit of interest in. And then I was at the library with my kids and looking through their selection, and I was like, I'm going to read these. And so I got the first one, and I liked it a lot. I thought the first one was a little slow, but it hooked me enough to be like, I'm going to go back and get the second one. I got the second one, loved it, burned through it fast. And then I went back and I just got everything they had all at one time.
He's all in now.
Yeah, I'm all in now.
I like it.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got Air Spider hanging out with us tonight. What is going on?
Hey.
So we are talking about Age of Doom. So we had done the first two volumes of Black Hammer. Then we did a couple of side stories. We did the Sherlock Frankenstein, Dr. Andromeda. So we were back to our main characters. We were back to the story of those people trapped on the farm and Lucy, who went there to find them. And where we left them was Lucy had picked up her dad's hammer. She'd become Black Hammer, and she remembered everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like this is just twice now. He's used the same trick and a giant tease of she shows up, I know where we are, and then they take away her memory, and then she shows up and she's like, I know where we are, and she disappears. So I feel like
Deja vu here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we've seen this before. Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Daryl. What did you think of this little intro back to them? I don't know how long you've been since you read the first part, but yeah, and how it pops away again.
I did not think about that was the second time that they pulled the trick on that. At least the first time it was just her memory, but this time I remember reading that second book and be like, oh, it's getting good now. She's going to reveal everything. And then it was second panel. Oh, where'd she go? She's just gone.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
So yeah, I mean, I thought it was good to set up the drama because you got Gail, who's I guess feeling like the reader at that point too. Oh, it's all gonna come. Here come all the answers, and then nope.
And then Gail just
she goes off.
Yeah.
Gail is very calm and collected at all times.
Yeah, so Air Spider, it's a superhero comic at its core, but it's really just a character study of these characters who are stuck and can't figure out why their powers aren't really working the way they're supposed to. They can't leave this small town that they've been transported to. And over the course of the stories, we've been kind of learning about the superhero universe as a whole, and specifically these characters and how they got stuck here and what happened. And the revelation of why are they stuck here is kind of the crux of these 4 main primary sort of Black Hammer volumes. And at the end of the second one, we felt like, okay, the new Black Hammer has arrived. Daughter has taken over for father. She's going to confess. And then poof, she's gone. And we jump to this. And for me, I always say it, but my favorite thing about Black Hammer is the way it's steeped in the history of comics. Now I feel like we are at the bar at the end of the world, the one that like that the Detective Chimp is like running in Justice League Dark, like the bar where John Constantine's always getting drunk. And here we are with all these bizarre, wonderfully cool, interesting characters at the end of the world, and she's running around this place trying to figure out how do I get back to where I just was a second ago. Yeah, I love all of it.
So yeah, Air Spider, it's very much a homage of golden, silver, just all of comics history that like Lemire is pulling stuff from, and like the House of Mystery, and we get
there is, I mean, Black Hammer 45, which we'll read at some point, is a volume that is like a war comic, takes place in World War II. There's fighter pilots and stuff, so they tag into a lot of the, like JP saying, the gold, silver age tropes and genres. And we do get a war comic, but it's more like the Captain America slugging Hitler on the jaw kind of style.
Abraham
comic.
Slam.
I mean, that's what he's known for.
And a little Thor action with Lucy here.
This is a Thor for sure.
Lucy's very much kind of the. Go ahead.
She's kind of the only like real Marvel character that I've. The Black Hammer is really kind of the only Marvel-ish one.
I got Captain America a little bit out of
the Abraham Slam.
A little bit, because of his origin wanting to go.
But there is more. But there is a lot more.
He has no superpowers, so he's kind of like a little bit of Batman in a way.
And then they give him the pads, like Liefeld era pads in the 90s, and the bombs.
That suit is so ridiculous. Yeah,
I like that.
But yeah, because we get Gale is very much the Shazam, and we get the Martian Manhunter, and we get Adam Strange, and there's a lot of DC going on in here for sure.
Right.
Yep.
So she disappears. They're all frustrated that they didn't get answers, and they're like, we're so close, and basically we see her. She wakes up in this, like John says, this house, and she wanders around, and next thing she knows, she's in a bar. And it's like with all these very odd like beings and creatures, and
Lonnie James.
And Lonnie James.
Good old Lonnie James.
Yes, this guy is the bartender of
So in those that haven't read Justice League Dark, which is where I first discovered the Oblivion Bar, which is like this pocket dimension place in DC where characters that are often like mystical dark magic will appear and will go. So, the Justice League Dark cast often ends up at this bar, and it's kind of this. I love the horror vibes I get from this place.
There he is.
Didn't he write Justice League Dark?
I don't think so. I can't remember I'm stuck trying to remember the writer behind Justice League Dark.
I read the first year of Justice League Dark, but I didn't stick with it. But I know Lemire was writing a bunch of that New 52 stuff at the time. Yeah. Right. So I didn't remember if that was one that he wrote or not.
Yeah, that I'm not sure.
I stumped everybody. Okay.
No, I'm honestly, I'm searching. I'll look it up. I'll find it. I promise.
But I like all these other creatures we're seeing too, or characters, I guess I should say. We don't really get their names here, but.
So I'm assuming this girl is supposed to be like V for Vendetta, I guess.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
You're right. Lemire did write a big chunk of it. You're right.
Did he write from the number one?
No, the number one was Peter Milligan, and then Lemire took over.
Yeah.
Peter Milligan. Okay. And then Lemire took over on issue 9. But
Lemire did. So I was probably reading it. I know I read at least the first year of Justice League Dark, but I didn't get to that Oblivion.
It's a fun read if you haven't anybody hasn't read it. I love it. There it is. See, look, AFP&C's got you.
Nice.
And then this would be probably the Dead Boy Society from Sandman.
Super cool.
Sorry if you aren't there yet.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
definitely some odd characters in here for sure.
Yeah.
But so we see her try to leave, and she just ends up in a circle. She ends up right back where she was at. So overall, what did you like? What did you guys think of this? What did you think of this little sidetrack that she went on, and this the bar and everything, and the characters in this bar?
I think I need some more death from above, life from below music in my life. That is what I need. The bar that the music jamming out to there during that whole scene. That was great.
Welcome to the anteroom.
The lyrics, yeah.
Zombie Johnny Ramone or Tommy Ramone.
Yeah,
Definitely got a Ramones thing going there for sure.
Yeah. In this trade I have, I think it was in this trade. In the back, it definitely said it was based off of the Ramones.
Oh, did it?
I didn't even look at that stuff,
so yeah.
Because it was like the artist really wanted to do a zombie Ramones.
I mean, right?
That's
so he put it in there.
I mean, that's exactly what he did.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
So good.
By the way, back with the rest of the crew after she's disappeared, I love that they all go in the house and just have a drink. Everyone's like, I need a drink. I need 2 drinks. And even Madam D goes in with them and it's like,
yes,
just trying to help, you know. So yeah, that was funny too.
Here's the sketches of it.
It's a good opening issue.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
And he said, I figured Gail would be a huge Ramones fan.
Seems likely, but yeah. So they go back into the house, and they seem like actually energized again because they'd all kind of given up, like for the most part, that they were stuck here until Lucy showed up.
Yeah.
And other than Gail, who was just like so angry with being stuck permanently as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But they actually like start trying to come up with a plan to escape and try to get some information and figure out what Lucy found out. You know, and they're kind of re-energized here.
Mm-hmm.
So which immediately leads into the second issue. But before we get there, we see Lucy has enough of the anteroom, and she's like, all right, get me out of here. And so yeah, this bartender's like, sure, I'll help you, which was way too easy. You should have known.
Yeah.
And like, so he just takes her to hell.
Here you go.
We get Mephisto, guys.
We get Mephisto.
It's Mephisto. We got Mephisto.
There he is.
It only took Jeff Lemire to do that.
I do like this devil character, just the way it looks.
Or the gates to hell, this like with all the skulls. Like,
oh yeah.
I love the artwork going on here.
Yep.
And I do, you know, I love like, I think just skip to that whole interaction and we'll come back to the folks on the farm. But like, I love this whole interaction between her and the devil.
Oh
like,
yeah.
He tries to trick her initially and she's fooled for like half a second. And then the reporter in her like realizes real quickly that this is BS.
Yep.
And she's like, I just got this hammer. Let's see what I can do with it.
She starts breaking things.
And he's just like, all right, go away.
It really backfired on the devil there. He's like, oh crap. Don't forget, we meet Jack Sabbath. Jack Sabbath.
Yeah. He's like a dead man analog.
I love the name. It's so great. Jeff Lemire must have had so much fun like putting these names together and you know just coming up with like, you know, play on words with the names and stuff. It's great.
Yeah. So what did Justin, what did you think of this whole sequence in hell with her and Jack Sabbath and the devil? And
yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I really like the detail of how they drew like hell and, you know, what Lemire has created here with this. And then it does get a little dark showing the dad and everything and kind of nightmarish as you see even this panel of the dad as he slowly turns into the demon that he really is. Here he is on behind bars there. But yeah, like you guys said, like it's very quickly before she realizes the truth and just starts breaking things. And I wasn't sure, like, was that going to work or not? And sure enough, it definitely did. She takes out, like, all the different demons and everything else. And then he's just like, stop. He goes, okay, like, here's the door. And she's like, oh, and I'm going to take Jack Sabbath with me. So she gets a trade in that. She's able to leave, and she takes Jack Sabbath with her as well. So that was great.
I know John does not feel that way.
I don't. But I understand. But you can read the main story, and then I think I feel what you're saying. But I love all the side stories, and there are so many great ones that I've enjoyed. So I'm enjoying the ever expanding Black Hammer universe.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stay on that farm forever.
No.
I think the story would have gotten really boring really fast if that's all it was for like 6-7 books, because that's all they are is on the farm. I mean, This is the third, it says the fifth.
They basically count the main 4, the first 2, and then the Age of Doom 2-parter as the 4 primary stories, and they've continued to go on after, which I haven't read some of that yet. But the main 4 can be viewed as its own arc, its own story.
Right.
So, Daryl or John, do you guys have anything else to add about her little trip to hell here? Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I want to go back to the gates that John pointed out. I was looking at the 2 like statues. They're like Knights of Templar, but like death warmed over. Yeah. Just that was pretty neat. I thought the whole hell setup. I mean, it's not like this is the first time we've seen a hell in any comic form before, but it's done pretty well. I do like the devil character, except in this close up, he looks too much like the Martian guy.
Yeah, he does look like Barb. Yeah, that's a good point.
But other than that, I mean, I thought when they show him real big with the horns and everything, he's pretty cool looking.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. John, you have anything to add?
No, I think it's nice that it's just this one issue. They move on from it. It's just you can see that something or someone is toying with the new Black Hammer, trying to keep her from solving this puzzle.
Yeah,
and so this is just another step in her needing to solve this.
Yeah. So the other thing that's going on here is we jump back to our to Gale and Abraham and Barbalian and their plan to figure out what's going on. And we see Abe, who we've known all along, doesn't really want to leave.
No, he's trying to fix the house. I love
it. Instead of doing what he said he was going to do.
Right.
But then the other two
long-term
was to investigate the books that Lucy said didn't have any pages in them. Go to the library, and suddenly the books are written. Like there's actually history to the town.
It's almost like they explained the things that were a problem, and then those things get fixed.
Yeah, it was interesting. So at this point, I mean, we kind of got some clues before, but when did you start realizing who was really behind all this? Did you know?
In the last book 2, I think it was already kind of revealed that at least Weird and
Madam Dragonfly.
But Dragonfly. I keep wanting to call her Butterfly. Like that's not right.
Madam D.
Madam Dragonfly, because she's the one that she makes the ex-husband disappear.
Yeah.
She makes Lucy forget. So I mean, it was pretty obvious that she was behind something. What her motivations were and stuff, which we still don't really find out in this book, I don't think. Or I guess maybe we do. That was still clear. You're like, is she doing this for like truly nefarious reasons, or is she doing this for some reason to protect them?
Yeah.
And Colonel Weird as well, who is probably my favorite character so far because he truly is weird. But,
he's very confused a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it's like he's kind of like the Adam Strange analog, but he's not like Adam Strange really at all.
No.
I felt like early on it was clear which characters knew more than they were letting on. The question to what Daryl is saying is, why?
Right.
Why the why is way more interesting than the what, right?
Yeah.
The how is not as interesting as why did they do it? And I think that's the core of what's really interesting here for me.
Yep.
So for me, like I was more trying to figure out the whole time what is Dragonfly up to, and is Colonel Weird just observing it all because he's constantly just bipping around being aware, or is he actually using, is he hands-on involved in this?
Right. Yep.
So the other thing we get at the end is after they come out of the library, we get a nice couple pages of Barbalian and Gale talking. And she admits that she was in a relationship with Sherlock Frankenstein. And that, of course, gets her just mercilessly teased about dating a zombie.
Yeah.
The zombie.
I also love that he calls her a MILF.
Yeah.
Barbarian's like, you MILF, you. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Although she's technically probably a GILF at this point.
Yeah. She's
Yep. He's not a zombie. He's kind of a zombie.
It's debatable.
She said, don't knock it till you try it.
All right.
So I like their whole relationship that Barbalian and Gale have developed. I think that's one of the best things over the course of the 3 books is their relationship. The only, I guess, critique I would have of it is they've been on this farm for like 10 years and she doesn't realize that he's gay this whole 10 years. But it's like, I guess it wasn't in this one. It was in the book before where she kind of thought like, oh, he's talking about me, but he was like, no, I'm talking about this pastor preacher that I'm interested in.
I think it's interesting because she hasn't told him about this. And I feel like it's like, they've been their only companions, and yet they've held stuff back. Right? They've
a lot of secrets still.
Like they still didn't necessarily fully invest in each other. Like even if they were their only. So it took them
10 years. Isn't that what it is? 10 years
for story reasons, because this is where we joined the story. But like it also takes them this long because. Just who they were before, and they're a little bit of a lack of trust and wanting to get back.
They're trying to be careful. How much information they give out still, even now. I do like that they connected it with Sherlock Frankenstein now that we've read it and know a little bit more history about that. And Daryl, I know you had skipped that originally, right? The Sherlock Frankenstein book.
Yeah, I have gone back and read it, but
you did go back. Yeah. So it's just, I appreciate that they, kind of brought that back in.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of this, we see Lucius now goes from hell to Storyland. So we get our little Sandman.
Yes, sounds like it's Sandman. Yeah, the eyeballs.
So we get the we go to another little realm as Lucy continues to try to figure out how to get the heck out of
the trap. She's trapped in a way that they've been trapped for years.
Yeah.
Yep.
But issue 3 kicks off with Abe getting everything he wanted. Like
you mean some booty? That's what he ends up getting.
That's later in the issue, but like suddenly his girl has forgiven him, but then the sheriff that was giving him a hard time that we all see get like destroyed is back and healthy and all 4
and happy.
Yeah, and like a nice guy now.
Yep.
So what did you think about this little, because we knew she took him out, so she had to be the one to put him back. So what did you think about this little reveal of kind of like the books of, trying to get them to calm down and stay put, like making life easier for them to stay there. John, let's start with you. What did you think of that little twist at the beginning of this issue?
Well, I may just be that I've been watching a lot of Firefly recently, but there's a line in one of those when he says when Malcolm says, "Did you guys were listening to our conversation? Did you see us argue?" And they're like, "No." He's like, "Well, then that means it's a trap." Like that clearly, if you don't see us arguing, then something's wrong. Something's right here, and that's exactly this. Like, clearly something's up, right? The vibe across the board, even for Abraham, is like, just. I mean, I like it, but it doesn't seem right.
Something's wrong here.
Off-putting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But he rolls with it.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course.
You can tell like the expressions on his face are just like shock and bewilderment, but at the same time he is just kind of like, okay, fine, let's just go with this.
Yep.
This is the way it's going to be. It's the way it's going to be.
Right, and then and then the next thing we see is we go back to Lucy for a little bit, but then we get Barbalian getting what he wanted. Suddenly the preacher is like, "Oh yeah, I am interested."
Let's shag.
It's like, yeah. So there's suddenly everything's all hunky dory for two of the three. I don't know if there's any way to make Gail happy.
Nope.
Short of giving her powers back correctly and letting her out of there. But so then we get to see Storyland. So what did you guys think of Storyland? Daryl, I'll start with you this time. What did you think of Storyland?
As a huge Sandman fan, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. This reminds me of a lot of the storyline when they have the banquet for the Key to Hell and all the. I mean, it's just they just have their versions of the Endless here, but it's like where they're all together at a dinner table and sitting down to discuss, and it's just done really well. I like all the names for them too. How they like play on the Endless. All their names start with a D, but on this it's like they start with a different letter, I think. But it's like they play on
the romance and page counter.
Editor, the editor.
Okay. So they didn't go with the same letters like they do with the Endless, but still, I just love the play on all of them.
Yeah.
It's done so well, and it drops a lot of hints as to what is really going on in a way.
Right.
The emphasis on stories, your story, more stories to tell, then you're really kind of getting a sense of, oh, now I'm understanding what this series is really about. Nobody takes that. Nobody agrees.
Totally agree.
Well,
we agree with you when we get silent because we're like, we can't add anything.
They basically are tipping Lucy off to being an illusion and being, that this is all a distraction and that you're really still where you need to be. You just, you're just can't see past what's being presented to you here. And I get it. And so we get, and one of I forget which one sends her back. Is it Mystery sends her back, right?
Yeah, the girl.
Yeah, Mystery sends her back to her story. So, but at the end of this issue, we get, full confirmation that Colonel Weird and Madame Dragonfly are in it together. That she's giving them what they want in order to keep them staying. And she's like, you were complicit in all of this.
And he's looking at the future and he's saying it's all coming down. Like this is what it's going to happen. There's no escaping it. It's all crashing down.
Yep. Fits his part perfect.
Now, like you were saying, and it didn't really occur to me when I read this book read the fastest to me. I'm not a fast reader, and I read this one in like 45 minutes. But so I may have missed some things in it because I was like burning through it. But why can't she make Gail be able to at least turn back to her adult form. Because if she could have allowed that to happen, then Gale probably would have been happier.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that, and we aren't there yet, but when we get to the reveal of where they are, is Gale, when they put, spoilers ahead, is when they put her into sleep or whatever, is she's in the Gale form. So that she can't, because they can't change her, she has to do that. Well, so in her mind, I don't know. You would think she could be able to make her think that, but
I was going to say. So keep in mind the things that we are getting from Madam D, giving everybody what they want. It's all in control of the other characters, not the main.
Good point.
Team. So she's able to manipulate and change all these other fake characters.
Like changing the things
the NPCs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
She's the DM, and she can control what the NPCs do, but she doesn't get to control the character.
Yeah.
I did not think of that. It really didn't.
I want a point of inspiration.
John just lost point of inspiration
again.
So we see after this, though, we see Lucy makes it back to what she thinks is the anteroom. But Jack Skellington, or what is it?
Jack Sabbath.
Jack Sabbath, sorry. I knew that was wrong as soon as I said that. He's like, no. He's like, you can go any of these doors. This is not, like, you're not as trapped here as you think you are. So we see her go into basically, Jack the Ripper timeline here at the end. And then I don't know, maybe Lemire has some stake in that.
So good.
This was so great. I was so pumped to see this.
It was the
moment.
It was such a great moment seeing Sweet Tooth.
I've never even read Sweet Tooth, but I knew the reference and I knew he wrote it. So I was like, that's cool. And it plays into the whole like thing that the storytellers were talking about. Like, this is your story. This is this story or that story. And it's like, oh, this is another Lemire story.
This is very much like it reminded me of Nightmare Before Christmas, where all the different trees have all the different seasons that you could like go into, and it's like these doors lead into like you see
all
Christmas
of the Lemire stories.
Yeah, like I was hoping they went even further down this, not in like a deeper sense, but just I was hoping they'd show even more. If we saw Tim 21, like JP, like how freaking crazy would that be if we got to see Tim 21 here from Descender?
My guess is this is one of his stories as well. This like old, but I just don't know which one it is. I don't know.
I wasn't sure either. John, do you know?
I don't, but AFP&C mentions Lost Dogs in Essex County, so it could be one of those.
Okay. I assumed it was something Lemire.
Yeah. So, but with some help of her new hammer, she does find the right door, and so we end this episode with a great page of her coming through the door and Madam Dragonfly. Oh, you made it out quicker than I thought. And so
surprise.
So we're about to get the showdown here. What did you think at this point with Lucy finding her way back to our villains? Maybe we don't know at this point. What do you think, Justin?
I'm glad that it's moving at this pace. I was wondering if we were gonna get dragged on even more into these other rooms and stuff. And yes, while I did want to see more Lemire stories and stuff like that, I did want to, I guess, cut to the chase in a sense of just moving on to seeing what the heck was going to go on. And I think it was just timed and paced really well. So again, to Jeff Lemire's writing, which I absolutely love. So I think he did that just really well. And yeah, I'm just continuously hooked on wanting to know where this goes next. Every issue, every single issue. So he does such a good job with that. Yes, as we said in the beginning, he takes it away from us, but he slowly sprinkles things again to kind of get us back into the gist of things. So I was like, all right, they're all together now. She has her memory. She has her hammer. Let's go. What's gonna happen here? So yeah.
So what did Daryl, what did you think about this? Her getting there and the little confrontation between her and Madam Dragonfly and Colonel Weird. So, like, what do you think of the first little scene here?
Well, I'm gonna echo Justin and say I'm glad that the pacing went pretty quick through these rooms. And really, it's like we're through like what, 2 issues, and she's gone to hell. She's gone to story time. A quick dip into a couple of other Lemire realities, and we're already back. And that's kind of not really heard of in newer comic pacing. You know, we're used to like dragging something like this out for like 5-6 issues. So I feel like almost like a chapter is ended. Like you could have done those 2. Was it just 2 issues or was it 3? I think it was just 2. But you know, that almost could have been a trade's worth of story for any other book. So yeah, I'm gonna echo Justin on like I'm glad that it like got back into you know the farm world quickly.
Yep.
And it was a fun jaunt. Like I said, I read this pretty quick, so I mean it went. You know, it was like, oh, we're here for a couple of pages, over here for a couple of pages, and we're back.
Yeah.
And that's solid pacing.
Yeah. So next up, we jump back to the farm here, and we see Abraham, as John said earlier, I think, getting lucky. But really what we see is him and Barbalian already back to, oh yeah, we're good here. Like that her ploy has worked.
Yeah.
Both of the dumb men.
Yep, they're ready to stay another 10 years.
You're also skipping over the bit where he tries to convince Abe tries to convince Tammy that he's a superhero by putting on that costume.
Big
So
blue.
freaking good, and she just dies. She's just like,
she just laughed so
really
hard.
like I think it's hysterical that he legitimately felt like that would seal the deal. Him in that costume is gonna be the deal maker.
He's like, stay there. I'll be right back.
Reaction is just like,
Yeah. He's like, 1 sec. He goes, see? And all she says is ... before she bursts out laughing.
even when he's leaving, she's still laughing. He's like, it wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
Well, this world of the farm has no superhero. So what else is she going to take except
Right.
he's just like a dude in a costume. He's a cosplayer. You know, like.
So
No, her response is maybe next time wear that.
Yeah, right. I love it.
So just as they've settled back in, meanwhile, Gale, on the other hand, has figured out the truth from Talkie Walkie that that Dragonfly has betrayed them. She doesn't know the full truth, but
it's enough.
She's ready to rumble.
Yep.
At this point.
Yep.
And is headed to the tells them she's headed over there. Like, well, we see her come out of the barn.
Hard to miss it. Yeah.
And I thought Abe's only concern is my barn.
I just fixed that roof.
I just fixed that roof. If we're gonna live here for another 10 years, darn it, we're gonna need this.
My barn. So
it's really great.
So we go back to the other two, and basically Weird tells Bag of Dragonfly that they're coming, and she's like, I'm glad it's over. I'm tired of holding it together. Just as Gale arrives.
Yep.
And we get the big reveal here at the end of this issue. What did you guys think of the reveal of where they are? Here. Or, well, sort of. We don't really get all of it here, but we get that they're on the spaceship, knowing what we know, that they're on Colonel Weird's ship and they're not on a farm at all, that they've been basically asleep. What did you think of this? Daryl, what did you think of this?
I wasn't really ready for that. I'll be honest. That did take me kind of by surprise that they were in like a suspended animation. I expected them to be fully awake and conscious and just in some sub-reality. I wasn't expecting them to be like floating in space, or I guess the what's it called, the
Parazone.
The Parazone. You know, like in suspended animation.
To the Parazone. Sorry, I had
That was
You can take me out now.
John, what about you?
He can't be my wingman anytime.
JP,
I love the
really
reveal.
liked it.
I love the reveal. I think it's a really great reveal. It's not a big bad guy or anything. Instead, the reveal is that it's all inside of themselves, right? That there's some demons that they're all internally fighting. That Madame Dragonfly has created this place as out of kindness, but then instantly, as humankind is wont to do, like they created their own problems in this place because they were unwilling to just appreciate the paradise that she created for them. It's a beautiful reveal. I think it's phenomenal.
I kind of got Avatar vibes with the machines that they were in. It's like Avatar and Matrix kind of like together. But I agree too, like with what Daryl said, especially like being taken by surprise with this. Yes, we were already leaning towards there's some big thing coming that we're learning of what the tricks are that these two have put together, but not this. And to really get the visual of seeing them laying there like that and the machines, like that was like, I mean, I was fired up when I got to that page. I was like, oh man, here we go. Like this is why this just opens up so much more, like with what is the truth and where are they really, and where do they go from here, and do we ever get those characters back, and which are questions I'm still asking. So it's it's interesting.
I was kind of like, so are we not going back to the farm anymore?
Well, you're not the only one because
completely done.
Because Abe loses his crap. Like Abe is just like, I can't deal with this. I want to go back. Get me my Tammy back. That was hilarious.
He's in love. Guys,
he's lost it. Abe is done. He's like, no. Yeah. Being asleep aboard your spaceship in the pair zone blows.
Yep. Take me back.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. He's not having it.
Yeah, no, look at him. Oh man.
Meanwhile, Gale and Barbarian are like the opposite of like, what the Gale is ready to like I'll kill you.
I would be so terrified of Gale. Like I would never want to be on her bad side.
She definitely runs hot.
Yeah.
But back to Slam there. He he was already kind of retired anyway from his superheroing days. He came out of retirement to go fight the anti-god. What's it called? The
anti-god.
Pseudo Galactus.
It's a Galactus dark side meld.
Dark side.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, he like kind of came out of retirement just for that. So that's why he was kind of happy on the farm. Like
he was ready for retirement.
This is my coasting. I'm done. Like I'm done with the fighting. Like there's nothing to like get all worked up about here. So for him to come out and be like, oh no, I'm being put back into the superhero-ness that I wanted to be done with, basically. So he would be mad. He's like the opposite of Gale.
He's ready for the quiet life,
Yeah, which Gale was too, but
but she didn't want it like this.
But her loved one was in the real world.
Yeah.
Right.
She didn't want to leave Dr. Frankenstein there.
Yeah.
Right.
She'd already found it, and then she got taken from it.
Yeah.
Or be a 50-year-old woman in a 9-year-old's body. So.
Well, admittedly, but
Permanently
she's the yin to Abraham's yang. Like,
yeah,
that's why they are wonderful opposites to each other.
Yeah, they do. They do complement each other from a story perspective. So.
I wanted to highlight because I know we're into the portion where Colonel Weird's explaining everything, and I love this.
Yes, that is a great
page where he's like on top of it telling the story, but you still get the battle with the anti-god and you get the giant floating eye of the Parazone and the ship. And
I like how he's laid over the panels.
Yes.
Like he's his body takes up both panels. Like it's really cool.
It's so cool.
This is why I'm glad I read it physically, because I've been reading everything digitally up till now. Sure. So that was another cool, unique spot to that.
I'm in charge. It's
All
my
right, get
show
this guy
now.
out of here.
It's my show. Oh, sorry. Whenever JP looks at his book, I can tell that he's looking at his book. And I can just
Yeah.
go over.
Sorry, I was looking down instead of.
But there's another, obviously, this one too, when we get the truth of what happened at the Black Hammer versus what they saw on the farm versus him in reality escaping the ship and getting out into the Parazone and having that impact his body.
Yep.
There's a fun like dichotomy of like
it also shows that
real and what's fake,
and no one can survive in the Parazone, at least from what their knowledge is, other than him.
And without some kind of protective suit, you're not gonna like even their powers, even as powerful as we've seen Black Hammer is.
Yeah,
doesn't do him any good.
Right.
So.
I love the explanation here for all this.
So. This kind of the other thing that happens in this issue is we see kind of how Lucy got there, but it ends with basically Colonel Weird's explaining everything that's happened and why they did it, but then he's undoing it, even though it may like destroy the universe.
Mm-hmm. You know what this is, right, JP? This is the we have to go back moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the like 3/4 of the way through Lost, and we realized they got off the island. And they're going back. This is
all right. John's just going to talk Lost.
At least I'm not singing Danger Zone. But this is that moment where we flip the script, right? Yeah. We're basically saying, you thought you understood everything. Now we're gonna put it all on the table and just see where the chips fall, right? Yeah. And see what happens. And I think that's a great cliffhanger moment, right? Just to like say, here we gave you the info, but we're giving you a brand new cliffhanger of what happens when they go back. What's that gonna mean? Because they've been avoiding this. That's what Madam Dragonfly and Colonel Weird have been avoiding, and now we're gonna crash straight into it.
Yeah. The whole point was to try to protect them here. And now Colonel Weird's like, nope, this is what happens. We have to go back. And Abraham, and you see, once again, Abraham's like, turn around, take us back. He's like, no.
And Gail's like, get us back to Earth now.
Yep.
A lot of F-bombs in this one. A lot of F-bombs.
Oh, yeah.
Because Gail gets to talk a lot.
Yeah. She's got a lot of parts. Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts here on this part before we move into the two little side stories that we also read as part of it. Anybody have anything they want to add before in thinking about this one?
I just want to point out that this guy is the Starman from the 90s.
Yeah. Andromeda. Yeah.
Andromeda.
Yeah.
So, I'll just say I agree with you guys. I thought the pacing here was good. It was solid. I'm glad they didn't drag it. Like a little bit, I was a little frustrated at the beginning when like she just pops away again, and it's like, oh, they're gonna drag this out. And I feel like they did a good job of not dragging it too long to get us back to this point. I'm really looking forward to what happens now. And where we're gonna be in our next show. So with that, we did two little side things. We read the Black Hammer annual, giant size annual, which is kind of this Colonel Weird story, where he's following around this weird creature in the Parazone that has interacted with all our main characters at some point or another. What'd you guys think of this, Justin?
So I just read it today. Actually, I don't have it owned as the part of the edition, but I thought it was great. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good like kind of a fill in for kind of what you had said, JP, in our chat. It was like just some back end or like filler of some of the character building that we have going on. I also liked that we got a little bit of Dustin Nguyen artwork in some of the pages, so that kind of brought me back to some Descender moments there, some Descender vibes. Yeah. So that was cool. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the annual.
Carol, what about you? What did you think of this little side? You said you'd read it before, so the little annual eyeball with tentacles, Starro, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Starro is what I was thinking of. Or there's another creature. Alan Moore used it. It wasn't Star. Oh, it was just those like flower things that Mongol used.
Yeah.
In the Alan Moore Superman story.
Oh, the Black Mercy or whatever.
Yeah. So something like that kind of. I mean, it's on the face though, so that makes you think Starro. It was like a neat, like I said, Colonel Weird is my favorite character of the series so far. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of fun to have this like issue that did give you this like backstory of like little bits of the other characters from his point of view, following this creature around. I like how it wrapped up at the end with him like meeting himself, and then the change in art styles I thought was great.
Yeah, per story or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought all of that was. It's a solid. It's cool. It's like an annual, and it's like annuals are like so uncommon, especially for something that's like, what is this, Dark Horse? Dark Horse. Yeah. For Dark Horse to put out an annual, and that just shows like Lemire's love of the medium and traditional stuff. Yeah. So I enjoyed this one.
I do think it was a fun little aside just to help kind of like for me to help like give you a perspective on Colonel Weird, that because he's kind of like lived and seen all this different, like he's confused about when things happen and stuff because he's just seen so much, and like so I thought it was an interesting there, but otherwise it was kind of not a huge thing. What did you think, John?
No, I think you're spot on. I don't think there's any mystery to that. I do think if those of you that enjoyed the Colonel Weird side, when you get to read Colonel Weird Cosmagog, you're going to be down for that jam, because that's if this is like a little bit of weed in your comic book, wait till you do some crack, because that's going to really knock you on your butt.
All right. Well, the other little side story we read was Cthulhuese. I can't pronounce it.
Cthulhuese.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah. And we met her previously.
She's also badass, though. Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love Cthulhuese. And so we met her during the Sherlock Frankenstein thing, and boy, did you feel sorry for the little girl during that. Like,
yes.
And so we meet her here, and Grandpa, as she calls him, is calling to her.
Yeah.
But we kind of get, he's been calling to her, she's ignoring him, but we kind of get some feel for her everyday life and how horrible everyone is to her. Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Yep.
What did you guys think of this story? John, this time I'll let you go first.
She's just a tragic character. You feel so bad for her. It's a wonderful sort of almost like a villain origin story. Like you just can sympathize with her situation and her plight. And she seems like such a good person in some ways that you feel bad that you can see where she's going. And in the, as she's being forced down paths that, given other opportunities, she probably wouldn't choose.
Yeah. Justin, what did you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, it can be very relatable in terms of just the bullying and what goes on in schools. And I know, going on even nowadays. I've been watching Stranger Things recently, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are definitely some vibes that I got even in this with bullying and things of that nature. So yeah, you definitely just feel for the character, and even like the taste of the character that we got from, earlier in the earlier reads for the character. We, it just kind of continues with that, just from our parents and stuff. So I did enjoy this issue overall. I think that it was really well done, and I hope that we see more. I'm sure we will. So we'll see.
Carol, what about you? What did you think of this little side story?
I thought it was, for a side story, it was neat. I think it's skippable. But one thing I will point out that is just like a neat use of it is the art style in this reminds me of like a YA graphic novel. Especially if you look at the pages of the kids.
Yeah, like the high school scenes.
I'm sure John is familiar with some YA graphic novels. I don't know about the other two of you, but if you have kids and they pick up like the little graphic novels that are like more aimed at kids, they all kind of have a very similar art style. And if like just looking at like the eyes and stuff of the other like kids at the school, that's what tipped me off. I was like, oh, this is supposed to be like a YA graphic novel in a way.
I kind of thought of like manga a little bit.
But that's the way the YA graphic novels are.
Yeah,
they're like kind of like an Americanized manga style. But of course, the bullying is sad. The other thing, though, because I just read the Sherlock Frankenstein before this, I thought that like the characterization or the relationship between the dad and the daughter in that book seemed more like he cared more about the girl.
Oh yeah, I thought of that too.
In this, he was pretty much just like, she's cold. A nuisance. I mean, he slaps her and stuff. And
he was cold.
And I was like, because she seemed to like him, like, you know, she seemed to not like the mother, but like him in that book. But in this book, it was like, no, they're just completely dysfunctional.
I actually thought that this takes place earlier than that, even though she's still a little girl. I thought that because he looks older, the dad looks older in those books. So I thought maybe this is just a different time where he's still grumpier and, you know, not as good as, you know,
I didn't read it that way, but yeah.
No, yeah, I thought that I thought he looked younger, the dad.
I think it's just the art style.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think it's probably the art style.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, for me, I felt like it did seem a little drastic that he was a lot less sympathetic toward her than he was in the other one, but it didn't feel that off either, because I felt like he didn't necessarily want to watch, like, he was treating her better than her mom, but didn't necessarily before even mean that he was treating her well. Like, and I think he kind of is also the thing is like, I've dealt with this for years, just deal with it. Like I got turned into this thing either against my will too. So tough luck, kid.
Yeah.
Like where he doesn't really have any sympathy left for her in terms of that. And so we see her, you know, she chooses to go see Grandpa and does a decides to do a pretty horrible thing to get her wish.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean it's she goes full villain.
Yeah, seeing them die like that. Woo. Like, then they're gone.
And all her bullies get taken care of, and her coming out of the school, like, but ultimately she gets a happy ending, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe she gets what she wanted. Now, whether or not that's actually a happy ending, that's a different story.
Right.
Well, she's smiling and tears of joy.
She smirks, yeah.
She thinks she's going to be happy.
But I did question it though. I did question it up until you actually see her smile. I was wondering, like, is she about to be like glad that this happened the way it did, or are we about to get, like, you know, obviously it ends here and you do see the smile. So we get the answer. But I was wondering because it could go either way. The way it's written out, like I could, you know, like maybe she's not satisfied because you just put me here with a bunch of other creatures that look like me, you know, like that's not what I wanted, you know, like I didn't know if it was going to go that way or if it was going to be that she's happy. We do see.
She just wanted to be normal. She just wanted to fit in, and so we'll see if she actually does. But she got her wish. We'll see if she actually is happy with it. All right. Any final thoughts on any of this? The Louise, the annual, the first part of Age of Doom. You guys got anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
I mean, I'm excited to read more. I'm probably gonna jump in like sooner rather than later, and I'll just reread it again as we get to our next.
We get ready to our next show.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I need to know.
All right. Well, you guys got anything you want to promote before we get out of here? And we'll start with Justin because he doesn't do anything like on his channel ever. He has like
let me get my scroll out.
Once in every couple of weeks or something.
Start pulling this sheet of paper out. No, the one thing I was mentioning, me and Fire Guy Ryan, we're going to be breaking down the third issue of Superman for All Seasons. So that'll be this Thursday. Looking forward to that, and then I will be back with another Comic Collector Origins this Saturday. So, but that's
no Lego builds this week.
Not this week. We're keeping them once a month ish, but you know, I still got my little owl here that I just built here. So kind of a cool little build. So we'll keep them going.
All right, Daryl, do you have anything you got coming up on Instagram or anything else?
I'm doing Jack Kirby stuff. Trying to do it all month long for Jack Kirby June. So pop over and enjoy some good Kirby. I'm trying to find obscure stuff if I can, but there'll be some like well-known stuff along the way too.
Nice. And John, what do you got going on here?
I mean, I don't do much. I had a show with that guy earlier tonight, and in 3 weeks doing our big Omni X-Men giveaway party. So come by the chat, hang out. Stuff's going to be flying off the shelves. Lots of good shenanigans, and we're probably going to get a little sauced and have a good time as we are wont to do. Which
it will definitely be entertaining. It's
sure. Tuesday the 28th, which is my last day of school. So for the summer,
you really will be sauced.
I got no reason to hold back.
He's not holding back.
Yeah, last game of the season, can't hold anything back.
John's going down that night.
Yeah,
John PG-13 John coming out here.
You have any other shows coming back that people like?
I don't think so. Comic Gories. Yeah, the 20th of June, Comic Gories is returning.
Nice.
Some shenanigans as always, but really just return to the good old fun of Comic Gories. Hopefully through the summer, we'll give you 4 or 5 really great shows through the summer and then into the fall.
Nice.
That goes on.
So in theory, we're still planning to do Usagi on Thursday. But I never know until they actually all click the link if we're actually going to talk Usagi. So that I never know with that crew. So that's going to be Thursday. Sometime this week, Aiden and I will discuss episode 4 of Obi-Wan, probably sometime before the weekend. So come watch that with me and my nephew hanging out talking Obi-Wan. And then next Tuesday, when there's no Omni, we're going to try a little different format for the indie show. It's just going to be John and I. We're going to talk Alienated. I want to send out some questions and maybe some polls on my channel beforehand.
Nice.
So if you haven't read it, grab it, come hang out and talk about it with us. I'm going to try to interact with the chat more. Somebody wants to hop in, we might just send out some invites if you want to. So we're going to try a little different with this.
That's cool.
We're going to be talking Alienated on next Tuesday for try a little different format to the indie show.
Nice.
So I'll be sending out some stuff for that.
Is it a single trade?
Yes, it's a single one story arc. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So one shot. We'll be talking that next Tuesday.
Cool.
If anyone wants to join us and hang out for that.
I wanted to mention that those of you checking in on Read Your Comics on Instagram, one of my favorite things Daryl's done recently is he went through the Age of Apocalypse, which is an epic read, and he did some really great posts all across. So those of you looking for some nostalgia X-Men stuff, go through his backstory because you're gonna get just everything.
And I've actually got those pinned in I've got those pinned in a stories memory, so they're easy to find. So and I did it I did it like a real time read. It started in December of 1994, and it went through like the 4 months. So I read it in that each week. I read it like it was the new books, and I did it for the 4 months, and I stuck to it all the way through. I was proud of myself.
That's a great idea.
That's fun. Nice.
All
right. Well, with that, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks to Tricky who come in here just late. Stephen M. Jennifer was here for a little bit. Kenneth Byrne. AFPC is left a long time ago, but was hanging out with us early. I don't know if Air Spider's still here or not, but I appreciate everybody that was. So thank you all for hanging out, and we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Later.